Okay guys, this week we're going to try an easy peasy dessert. This is all it's going to take, literally, is 12 ounces. It says calls for crush, but I couldn't find any crusher. I just got the Diet Sunkissed, and I got one sugar-free yellow cake mix. So that's the ingredients for the cake, and I'm going to do a separate recipe for the frosting, which is called for Cool Whip, some instant sugar-free vanilla pudding, and some milk, and some mandarin oranges. So, we're going to get this going. Okay, I have my oven preheating to 325. The first thing I'm going to do is measure out 12 ounces of this orange soda. Okay, and Keith will get to enjoy him some orange soda this evening. And then all we're going to do is take our cake mix. Open the cake mix up. Pour it into the mixing bowl. And then it says just to add the orange soda. I'm going to use my mixer to mix this. You might could do it by hand, but I like to use my mixer. Oven's ready. Yeah, I guess you heard that. So I'm going to mix this and I'll be right back. Okay, so I went ahead and mixed it with the mixer like the box said for 2 minutes, even though the recipe didn't call for that. And this is what it looks like, just like a cake mix. And I'm going to add it to I sprayed this 13 by 9 inch pan, and I'm just going to add the cake mix in there, and it says to cook like box instruction says. So I'll look on the box and see how long it says to cook. And if this works out, this will definitely be going. We're going to my sister-in-law's where my dad stays for Christmas Day. I will definitely be making this because she's a diabetic. So is my dad, my husband. So they'll be able to eat it. Okay, so the box says for a 13 by 9 inch to cook 34 to 38 minutes. So at 325, which is I've got my oven preheated to 325, and we'll get it cooking. Something I always do to my cake mixes is kind of bang it on the pan to get all the air bubbles up. And it's supposed to help keep the Noble's air hole out of your cake. Okay, y'all, that is the cake. Can I just tell y'all, it smells wonderful. Now we're going to start on the frosting, because this has got to cool, of course, completely. But the frosting needs to kind of mingle too. So we're going to get with the frosting. Okay, I'm going to go over the ingredients with the frosting again. This is called a Cool Whip pudding frosting. And I'm using a tub of the sugar-free Cool Whip, a small box of the sugar-free instant vanilla pudding, a cup of milk. It says 2 tablespoons to 1/3 a cup of powdered sugar. I'm just going to use 2 tablespoons because since we don't want a lot of sugar. And I went ahead, and since this is an orange cake, I had some mandarin oranges, so I drained them and kind of chopped them up, and I'm going to add that to the frosting. So let's get this going. Okay, the first thing it says to do is to add the 1 cup of milk and the pudding, and we're going to whisk it together until it's thick. So I'm going to add the milk to my bowl. And I'm going to add the instant pudding to it. And I thought, yeah, there's my whisk. And I'm just going to whisk it until it gets thick. It's already getting thick. So it's thick. Okay, now it says to add in the powdered sugar and the tub of Cool Whip. And it also said food coloring if I wanted it, but I didn't get any food color because I wasn't going to buy a big old thing of orange food color because I knew I would never use it all. So I'm just going to add a couple of tablespoons of powdered sugar to it. And I'm going to go ahead and try to mix that powdered sugar up in there as much as I can. Because when you add, I have found, when you add Cool Whip to a recipe, you want to fold it in more than you do beat it in. So I'm going to put this down and get me a spatula, kind of rubber spatula. Okay, now I got my rubber spatula, and this had been frozen, so I'm hoping it's defrosted enough. I need to kind of make sure it is. Yeah. Just want to kind of get it where to mix good into the pudding. Then I'm going to add it to the pudding. And I'm going to go ahead and add my oranges too. That way when I don't have to overfold this frosting too much. I'm going to get my oranges. Add them to it. And then I'm just going to fold all of it together. And then I'm going to cover this bowl up and put it in the refrigerator after I get it good and mixed up. Now, since this is a whipped cream frosting, we will have to keep it in the refrigerator, but that's okay with me. Of course, when I bring it for Christmas, I don't think I'll have that problem. And see, I don't think the food color would have been necessary anyway since I added those mandarin oranges, because as you can see, it's kind of got an orange tint to it. And there we go, y'all. Okay, so I'm going to get me a plastic cover to put on it. And then, whenever the cake completely cools, we'll come back and we'll frost it. This is where these cover-ups that I got at the Dollar Tree really comes in handy. Just on things like this. Okay, guys, here is the cake with the icing. I can tell you that icing is delicious. Can't wait to try the cake. Okay, we're getting the cake, and so Keith can try it for us. What's it called? Or in our case, it's orange sun-kissed cake.
Good.
So there it is. Y'all, that cake is good enough for me to come home all looking like a hot mess to tell you. It is delicious. That's the easiest cake I have ever made.